Hello, welcome to the UPSC Quick Revision series. Today we'll discuss a decisive turning point in modern Indian economic history, the 1991 economic reforms. These reforms are also known as the LPG Reforms, which stands for Liberalization, Privatization and Globalization. In 1991, India was facing a severe economic crisis, and to overcome it, the then Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao and Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh initiated these reforms. Our agenda for today is as follows. We will understand the reasons for these reforms, their three pillars, LPG, and their impact on the Indian economy. Why were the 1991 reforms necessary? The reason was a deep economic crisis. India was facing a balance of payments crisis, meaning our import bill was far greater than our export earnings. Our foreign exchange reserves had fallen to dangerously low levels, enough to cover only a few weeks of imports. The government's fiscal deficit was very high and inflation was soaring. The Gulf War further aggravated the crisis. India was on the brink of default, and we had to pledge our gold reserves to the International Monetary Fund, that is IMF, to secure a loan. This crisis forced us to undertake major economic reforms. The first pillar of the reforms was liberalization. This meant reducing government control and regulations over the economy. The biggest step was the dismantling of the license Raj. Now, most industries did not require a license from the government to start operations. The number of industries reserved for the public sector was significantly reduced. Reforms were also introduced in the financial sector, such as allowing private and foreign banks and deregulating interest rates. Tax rates were lowered and trade procedures were simplified. The second pillar of the reforms was privatization. This meant transferring the ownership and management of public sector undertakings or government companies to the private sector. The main objective was to improve the efficiency of government companies and reduce the financial burden on the government. This was done mainly in two ways. First, disinvestment, where the government sells a part of its stake to the public. And second, strategic sale, where a major chunk of the stake, along with the management control, is sold to a private company. The third and final pillar was globalization. This meant integrating the Indian economy with the world economy. Under this, restrictions on foreign trade and investment were removed. Import duties or tariffs were significantly reduced so that foreign goods could easily come to India and increase competition. The doors of the economy were open for foreign investment, that is FDI and FPI. Additionally, the rupee was made partially convertible for trade transactions. It is because of the globalization that India has become a major hub for IT and outsourcing today. These reforms had a mixed impact on the Indian economy. On the positive side, India's GDP growth rate accelerated and it became one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Foreign investment increased and our foreign exchange reserves became robust. The service sector, especially the IT industry, witnessed unprecedented growth. However, there were some negative impacts as well. The growth rate of the agricultural sector slowed down as it did not receive adequate attention. Income inequality between the rich and the poor widened, and small-scale industries suffered due to increased competition. Now, let's test our understanding with some practice questions. For more such videos, keep watching Vision IAS.